In 1972, Mercedes-Benz introduced a car and gave it a name. That name was S-Class, the first original car that told the world exactly what Sonderklasse, special class, was supposed to mean. This is the story of how it was born, what it was built to do, the crises it survived, and why more than 50 years later, the W116 still commands respect from anyone who knows what they're looking at. Mercedes-Benz W116, the first S-Class ever built, the car that changed everything. By the mid-1960s, Mercedes-Benz's flagship sedan was the W108, and in air suspension form, the W109. These were fine cars. The W109's 300 SEL 6.3 had even demonstrated that a large luxury Mercedes could also be dangerously fast. But time was moving on. The new S-Class generation development began in 1966, only a year after the launch of the W108 and W109. That's how Mercedes operated. The successor was conceived before the current car had even found its rhythm. The competitive landscape was intensifying. Mercedes began its work on this new luxury saloon in 1966 with the plain intention of making it the best four-door car in the world. That was quite a mission when Rolls-Royce had not long ago launched its Silver Shadow to huge acclaim. But the Germans saw this more as a benchmark to surpass than a hurdle. BMW was growing more ambitious. Jaguar had launched the original XJ6. American buyers had Cadillac and Lincoln. None of them, in Mercedes' view, were doing it correctly. The new car would show them what correctly looked like. To the engineering and design teams was straightforward in its ambition and extraordinarily demanding in its execution. Build the most complete four-door luxury car ever produced. It must be safer, more refined, more aerodynamically aware, and more technologically advanced than anything currently on the market. It must establish a design language that carries Mercedes forward for decades. They had 6 years to do it. Design work on the W116 fell under the direction of Friedrich Geiger, one of the great figures of European automotive design. Geiger had joined Daimler-Benz in 1933. His portfolio included the legendary 300 SL Gullwing and the W108 he was now tasked with surpassing. The handsome Friedrich Geiger-styled lines were signed off by the end of the 1960s. Working alongside him was a younger, Italian-born designer who would eventually take over the entire department and become one of the most influential figures in automotive history, Bruno Sacco. The W116 was a formative project for Sacco. His fingerprints are all over the detailing and refinement of the final design. The design language the team arrived at was a deliberate and dramatic break from the upright, chrome-heavy formality of the 1960s. The basic design concept was actually inspired from the 107 SL Class Roadster, especially the front and rear lights. Designed under Friedrich Geiger's direction, the W116 introduced many Mercedes design motifs that would influence the brand for decades. Its long, low silhouette, ribbed tail lamps, and horizontally stacked headlights became instantly recognizable Mercedes-Benz traits. The body was longer and wider than its predecessors. The hood stretched endlessly forward, framed by a large grille bearing the iconic three-pointed star. Then, the safety body cutaway. This was the first Mercedes saloon to feature the brand-new corporate styling theme, which was to be continued until 1993, when the 190 was discontinued. The design was a dramatic leap forward, with more masculine lines that combined to create an elegant and sporty character. The design patent was filed in 1972. By the time it was locked down, the W116 had established a visual identity so coherent and so forward-looking that it would directly inform every Mercedes sedan produced for the next 2 decades. But equally important as how it looked was how it was built. Because the W116's engineering was as radical as its styling. Engineering and safety innovations. Mercedes had been running an in-house accident research department since 1969, a team dedicated to studying real-world collisions and finding ways to prevent engineering through better engineering. The W116 was the first S-Class to fully embody the conclusions of that research. It was the first production car to feature a fuel tank mounted above the rear axle, away from the crush zones, a design choice that improved safety dramatically in rear-end collisions. The passenger safety cell was strengthened, while front and rear crumple zones were optimized to absorb energy more effectively in an impact. The retractable steering column, designed to collapse on impact rather than impale the driver, was standard. The door latches used tapered cone mechanisms engineered to stay closed in a collision while still operating correctly after impact. And then, in 1978, near the end of the W116's production life, came perhaps the most significant single safety innovation in modern automotive history. At the end of its production run, the W116 became the first car in the world to be offered with ABS, anti-lock braking system, developed jointly with Bosch. The 6.9 also has the distinction of being among the first vehicles ever produced with optional electronically controlled anti-lock brakes, first introduced by Mercedes-Benz and Bosch in 1978. Preventing wheel lockup, maintaining steering control under maximum braking. This technology, mandatory on every car produced in the developed world today, appeared here first as an option on the W116 in 1978. The industry would take more than a decade to make it standard. The suspension across the standard W116 range was a double wishbone front setup and semi-trailing arm rear, a combination that delivered the ride quality expected of a luxury Mercedes while providing genuine high-speed stability on the Autobahn. Four-wheel disc brakes were standard across the entire model range. The first ever S-Class was offered with a wide range of inline 6 and V8 engines, all known for their smoothness, durability, and refinement. The W116 was presented to the public in September 1972. Within 13 months, the world it had been built for no longer existed. October 1973, the OPEC oil embargo. Arab oil-producing nations cut off supply to Western nations that had supported Israel in the Yom Kippur War. Petrol prices quadrupled. West Germany declared car-free Sundays. Citizens walked and cycled on motorways that had been packed with traffic the week before. For a company that had just launched a large V8 engine luxury sedan, this was a crisis of the worst possible timing. Daimler-Benz responded on multiple fronts. The engine range was recalibrated for improved efficiency. In 1975, all petrol engines transitioned from the Bosch D-Jetronic electronic fuel injection system to the K-Jetronic mechanical system, partly to comply with revised European emission standards and partly for improved fuel economy. From 1975 onward, they used the K-Jetronic mechanical fuel injection system, a less complicated system that proved to be much more reliable in the long run, with injectors costing significantly less than those used on the D-Jetronic system. After the oil crisis, the 280S and 280SE, the more frugal six-cylinder models, became significantly more commercially important. After the 1973 oil crisis, a long-wheelbase 280SEL was added to the model range specifically to give buyers a large, dignified S-Class without the fuel penalty of a V8. In the United States, the challenge was compounded by tightening emissions and CAFE fuel economy regulations. American market W116 were continuously detuned to comply with federal rules, resulting in an increasingly stark performance gap between European and North American specification cars. In the final 1980 model year, the 450 SEL was making 162 horsepower at 4,200 revolutions per minute, compared to the European version's 225 horsepower throughout its production life. Buyers paid the same price, often more, for a car that was significantly less powerful. It was a frustration Mercedes navigated for the entire production life of the W116. The W116 ended up being offered in 9 different model forms across its 8-year production life. Let's walk through every one. 280S, the entry point. The lineup began with the 280S and 280SE, both powered by the 2.8-liter M110 inline-6, producing up to 185 PS in fuel-injected form. The 280S used a Solex carburetor, simpler and slightly less powerful than its sibling, but the most accessible way into S-Class ownership. Standard wheelbase. 280SE, same 2.8-liter M110 twin-cam straight-six, but with Bosch D-Jetronic fuel injection for better throttle response, cleaner power delivery, and slightly improved output. A car for the buyer who wanted 6-cylinder refinement with the sophistication of fuel injection. Standard wheelbase. 280SEL. From April 1974, the 280SEL arrived, the long wheelbase version of the 6-cylinder S-Class, added directly in response to the oil crisis, giving buyers who needed rear seat space and chauffeur-driven presence the option of a more economical engine. The 100mm wheelbase extension went entirely to rear passenger accommodation. 35DSE. Initial models consisted of the 35DSE with a 3.5-liter V8 engine, the M116, a single cam per bank unit producing around 200 horsepower, the first V8 in the W116 range. Buyers could specify it with a 4-speed manual gearbox, the last time that would be available on a Mercedes flagship. Standard wheelbase. 35DSEL. From November 1973, the long wheelbase version was also available as the 35DSEL, the same 3.5-liter V8 in the extended body. The ideal balance of V8 refinement and long wheelbase accommodation. The choice for the executive who is occasionally driven as well as driving. 45DSE. 6 months after launch, the 4.5-liter V8 engine was introduced, wearing the 45DSE SE badge. The 4.5-liter M117 V8 produced 225 horsepower in European specification, available with a 3-speed automatic only. The performance step-up from the 35DSE was immediately apparent. The 45DSE was a genuinely fast saloon. 45DSEL. The 45DSEL added the long wheelbase to the 4.5-liter V8 formula, 100mm longer, benefiting rear passengers. This was the choice of governments, embassies, and senior executives worldwide. The 45DSE was named the European Car of the Year in 1974, the supreme critical accolade of the era. 45DSEL 6.9, the legend. For all its achievements, the W116's production life was not without genuine difficulties. The fuel injection transition. The 1975 switch from Bosch D-Jetronic to K-Jetronic, while ultimately a reliability improvement, was not without consequence. The W116, equipped with the K-Jetronic system, used a cast-iron fuel distributor, which can be prone to rust over time if moisture or water is present in the fuel. This was changed to an alloy fuel distributor in the following model, W126, and is not subject to corrosion. Owners of K-Jetronic cars today still find this a known maintenance point. The U.S. bumper problem. To comply with tightening North American safety regulations, Daimler-Benz introduced the prominent 5-mile-per-hour impact bumpers for the W116 starting in 1974. While they significantly altered the silhouette of the S-Class, they became a hallmark of the U.S. spec models. American Mercedes-Benz W116s were described by journalists as if a beautiful car was beaten with the Malaise ugly stick. The bumpers added significant length to the car's nose and tail, up to 11 inches overall, and in the view of most automotive observers, significantly compromised the W116's clean European lines. The V8 valve train issue. All of the gas motors didn't have very robust valve trains. It was very common for the V8s to have worn or loose valve guides in the cylinder head. The newer version valve guides remediate the issue altogether. You don't want to see a bunch of smoke during deceleration while road testing a V8 W116. If you do, there's a valve guide issue. It was not a fatal flaw, but it was an expensive one in a neglected engine. The emissions power drain. Throughout the production run, tightening U.S. federal emission standards continuously hampered North American market performance. The continuous detuning of the U.S. spec V8 became an ongoing engineering and commercial headache, and a persistent frustration for American buyers who compared their cars to European press tests. Rust. Like many European cars of the era, early W116s, particularly those operated in markets with heavy road salt, could develop corrosion in the wheel arches, sill sections, and floor areas. Improved factory rust-proofing came progressively through the production run, but surviving cars from the early years often show the consequences of this weakness. There were faster saloons, quieter saloons, and prettier saloons, but even those who struggled with the cold rationalism that underpinned this design found it difficult to fault. Like it or not, there was no other four-door luxury car available in the 1970s that was so complete and so painstakingly engineered. From Friedrich Geiger's first sketches in 1966, through the oil crisis, through the battles with American regulators, through 473,035 cars built and sent into a world that, in many ways, the W116 itself helped shape. This was not just a car. This was the beginning of an idea that a car could be the best in the world every time, in every detail, without compromise. That idea is still called the S-Class. Mercedes-Benz W116, September 1972 to September 1980, 473,035. Built, the first, the original, the standard